Welcome back to Gloved Up Garage. Well, I'm not really feeling that great today. I've got puffy eyes and allergies or something is just making me feel pretty terrible. I've got a sore throat that I can't kick. So I'm not going to be able to wrench on much today. So I figured I'd come out here and give you guys an update on where we're at on a few things. You can see the 95 GTS is still here. The 96 Cobra is here. But unfortunately, where the 94 GT was, right here behind me, it has been sold. And I came out here to do a tune-up on that car and figure out what was going on with the front drive system. I had an alternator that was locking up, power steering pump. Something was locking the belt up and squealing really bad. So I came out here to work on that, and then I found a large amount of rust on the ground where that car had been sitting. It appears that the driver's side frame rail was a lot worse than I had thought it would be. And a matter of sitting out here through all the rain and the moisture and everything that we've gotten over the last few seasons just amplified that rust, and well, part of the frame fell out onto the ground. That's not really ideal. That's not what I had anticipated. I thought I would be able to just do a real simple patch and get that car back on the road after the tune-up and the paint and all those things. So yeah, that didn't really work out the way that I wanted it to, unfortunately. And that's just what happens when you're dealing with a project car. Sometimes things like that, you just don't initially see them until you get deeper into it. And, it is what it is. The cool thing about that car is the guys that bought it are in the process of restoring, I think it's a 66, 67 Galaxy that was their grandfather's car. So they needed an engine to put back into that car. That was a good part about that 94 GT, is that engine was really strong and it ran good, fired up every single time with no problems. So that engine will go help put that sentimental car back on the road. I'm okay with that. It's not something I normally enjoy, parting out cars or selling cars that I know are going to get parted out, but it kind of is what it is. Sometimes you got to deal with it. While we're on the subject of cars that have gotten parted out, you'll see this black GT over my shoulder here. We'll walk over there and we'll talk about this car. This 98 GT had a 5.4 Navigator engine, full QA1 tubular front suspension with coilovers. Had an independent rear suspension from an 01 Cobra, the T45 trans. This really wasn't too bad of a car. He lost interest in it. His hobbies, priorities, and stuff like that changed. So he decided to get rid of the car and asked me if I was interested in it. Knew I had some SN95s. Wanted to know if I needed any parts or whatever. So I bought the car from him relatively cheap. This is kind of the interior how I got it. No console, missing a bunch of trim. The door panels are gone. That seat's really no good. This seat over here is in pretty good shape, so we'll be able to use it on another project. And the dashboard's pretty cool. We got a Cobra cluster in there. Of course, the black airbags are in good shape. So this car will go on to help us with other vehicles and just in general. I normally do not like to park cars out, but unfortunately something I found that made me decide it was okay. Yep, we got more rust over here on this strut tower, and this thing has been hit in the front pretty hard at some point. You can see that impact bar right here is pretty nasty. It's crumpled. The lower part of the core support, I think somebody put a jack under it or something and jacked up the front of the car with the core support. So again, not a perfect car. It sucks that it's got to come apart, but I need all of this sheet metal right here, this upper rail on the outside. I need this apron and part of this core support in order to fix my son's car. I'll walk you over here and show you his car. So this is a 94 GT bought from a friend of mine, and it was involved in a front end collision, and you can see all of this stuff right here is just wadded up. Luckily the impact bar is good, but all of the structures for the core support, this upper rail, the inside rail, the apron, all that stuff is pretty buckled. What'll need to happen, I got to put this on the frame rack and grab a hold of this and pull it up and over, and that'll allow some of this to straighten out. But then I need to replace all this to make it strong again. So that is kind of where we're at on this car, and that is why I'm okay with that car getting parted out, is because it's going to go on to help other cars get on the road. And it's not a perfect car to begin with. We still have a lot of good parts on here, like these LED taillights. There's still some stuff in the interior, the Mach 460 stuff. Be able to sell some of that and help recoup the funds for the purchase of this car. And my initial thought was I was going to put that independent rear suspension into like one of the SN95s. I kind of thought about putting it in that 94 GT before that went sideways. But you know, it is what it is. We'll work through it all and we'll get past it. So that's where we're at on this car, the 94 GT. Unfortunately, the first stepping stone for our trade up series is now gone. And some of the funds from this are going to help pay for bills right now because, you know, the economy's kind of not in the greatest spot. It's getting back there, but not that I don't want to complete that trade up series, but without the first part of the funds from the 94 GT that was right here, it's going to make it tight and tougher to build the 95 GTS the way that I want to do it. In all reality, I'm probably $1,000 away from the parts that I need to really make that car into what I want it to be. I'd like to get a set of GT40s for it. Of course, the SN95 Cobra intake manifold, the upper intake for that. And that'll pretty much get that engine into the car. I've got everything else I need, maybe motor mounts, gaskets, stuff like that. That stuff's gonna be a little more expensive, but you know, that's one of those things that when you're building a project car, you just run across those expenses. Now the 96 Cobra, I thought I had a really good deal on a Coyote engine. And unfortunately, the guy sold it before I could get out there to it. But you had a Gen 1 Coyote out of an F-150 that supposedly ran and drove for about $500. And, you know, that's really, really hard to beat for those engines. So it is what it is. You know, sometimes you run across those deals and you can get to them quick, and other times you can't. So we'll work through that. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me about parting the 96 Cobra out. I really don't want to part it out if I don't have to, because it's just too cool. You know, I watch other channels like Stance Works and stuff like that, and those guys are building cars that, you know, run on tracks, and that's always been a dream of mine, I guess. But that car would be a really good platform to start with, and maybe one day it'll be in the works. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, they're still here. We've got them listed, and I'm wading through all the awesome offers and opinions and everything else on Facebook Market. I'm still working on it. It's still beating me up every single chance that it gets. We put a new shifter cable in, and I've got the console and the armrest and all that stuff in. Got the shifter mounted. I went to hook up the shifter cable from the shifter to the trans. Found that it was locked up solid. So talked to the owner, and he got another shifter cable coming and put that on there. And there was something different in the end of the shifter cable down there compared to the one that came off the car. There's a little clip, holds it on to the trans. This little fella right here is the one that comes on the aftermarket cable, and you can see it's all split and bent and everything else because it's a Chinese lovely design. So we had to round up one of these Dormans, and if you watched one of the Red Marauder videos, I had to get this clip for that shifter too when I was adjusting it. They're kind of like a one-time deal use. I mean, you can get them off very carefully, but it makes it a lot better if you just replace it. It's like a $4 part on Amazon. So we've got that to put on, and I also have e-brake cables to put on while I'm under the car. I've got a few parts left over from the 98 GT. Those are the two exhaust pipes and then the Stifler's cross member. So right now I've just kind of got everything tucked away under the car because me and the boys had to pull that 98 GT in here to get everything out of it. So this had to go like into storage mode while I did that. I'll be jumping back on this. You guys will see some new videos posted about the 93 Cobra very soon as I go through and get some of the smaller stuff finished up and then get ready to bleed the brakes, put this thing back on the ground. The 93 Cobra is coming along pretty good. I've got the repair started on the quarter panel. I'm trying to save this. I really don't want to rip all this quarter panel off and start new. I feel like that's more invasive than it really needs to be, because the quarter panel from this point back and up is really not in bad shape. We're just dealing with this section here. Of course, I don't know what I'm going to run into when I get this rocker panel and the bumper off, but I feel like it's solid under there. We're just dealing with the body damage. It's right here. So we'll have some videos coming out on that. Part 1 is going to be the beginning of the repair process of the quarter. And as soon as I've got it to the point where I'm happy with it, then I'll post that one up coming soon. Other than the 93 Cobra, the Fobra, I really don't have any other updates as far as projects go or stuff that's in the works here. So let me take an opportunity to get this thing spun around and sit here and talk to you guys about a couple of things real quick. I wanted to take a minute and thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel. We're at 999 subscribers as of today, June 29th, 2025. I've been working with YouTube or working on YouTube for about 4 years now, actively posting videos for, I guess, about 3 years. So I'm really happy with the progress that I've made. With your all support, it's definitely gotten me to where I'm at. You know, we've had some sponsors on the channel, which is pretty cool. I really want to make this my full-time job, so I'm going to continue to ask for your support, share these videos, and watch this stuff in the background if you need something to fall asleep to. I've got to get my watch hours up. So part of YouTube monetization, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And the reason that my watch hours have dropped is because I'm not posting videos as much as I used to. And I'm going to walk into that a little bit here. So the last several months at work have been the busiest that we've ever been. We set record numbers for sales, and that's because I work in a body shop and we had a major hail event come through a nearby town. What that initially means is that I'm very busy writing estimates, and then once those estimates are started to tip over into repair, we found that the new aluminum trucks weren't repairing with paintless dent repair like we thought they would. That means I'm involved more in the repair process, going back and forth with insurance companies. It makes for a very long day for me, so by the time I get home, I really don't have any energy to come out here, turn on the camera, and put some stuff on the video for you guys, and I apologize for that. I am working on several videos we're going to have coming out soon, and hopefully that, along with everything else, will get me up to where I need to be monetized. No fault for you guys at all. I appreciate your all support. This is all on me, and I apologize that I haven't been dropping content like I was in the past. Some of you all have definitely let me know that I wasn't dropping stuff like I was in the past. So I appreciate the reminder and the motivation to get those things out there for you guys. You're going to see some changes coming up. And, you know, like I talked about in one of the first clips, the GTS and the Cobra are up for sale. The 94 GT is gone. We've parted out the 98 GT. All of that is because, well, times are tough right now. I need as much money as I can to get us through every month. And when funds fall short, the project car's got to go to help put those funds back into the budget. So one of the other things you guys are going to see that I'm doing to free up some funds for the budget, I have put the Explorer up for sale as well. And I have 2 people that are interested in it. One of those 2 is going to buy it. I'm fairly certain one of those 2 is going to buy it. If not, I'm sure somebody else will want it. It's an awesome vehicle, a very fast SUV. I love everything about it, except for the fact that I got to make a payment and I have to pay insurance on it and put gas in it. Those are the 3 things that I hate the most about it because it costs me money. And it costs a significant amount of money to have a vehicle like that every month. At least for our budget, it makes a huge impact in that budget. So if that vehicle is not there, it's going to free up funds for project cars. It's going to make our budget a little easier to get by every month. And, you know, I'm got a family. You guys have seen the boys on video. I've got a wife. She works, you know, just as hard as, if not harder than I do. And times are tough. Groceries are expensive with teenagers. So is insurance, and that's one of the big things that's really impacting our budget, is that our insurance has gone up significantly because my oldest son has his license now. My youngest son will be getting his license in October. So, and he's got that Mustang out there. You know, all these things are not going to be cheap. That means I got to free up as much money as possible. Before all the bad stuff started to happen financially, I was able to pick up a Lincoln MKZ, which is kind of like a fancier Ford Fusion. And the owner decided not to fix that vehicle after he hit a deer. I bought it very cheap, and I've been very frugal about the parts that I put on it, and I now have it almost ready to go on the road. The bodywork side, all that stuff is done. I'm just finishing up detailing the interior, and need to do oil change and some other stuff because it has been sitting almost 6 months. I think it'll be 6 months in a couple of days. So with that, that's going to be my daily driver because it's going to save me a lot of money on gas. It's going to save me money on insurance. And of course, I won't have the payment of the Explorer. So all of those things together are going to be better. As time goes by here, financially, we're going to be in a better place. Right now, it's just a tough situation and I got to work through it. So I appreciate your all support. Appreciate you guys hanging in this far in the video. I know it's been kind of a long drawn out. Haven't really done much. I am going to have a couple of things coming up. One of those, kind of interesting, if you've seen people add patina to vehicles and toolboxes and signs and stuff like that, I have a friend that works on arcade machines, pinball machines and games, and I'm going to weather a few parts for one of the arcade machines for him. I've also painted the cabinet on one of the pinball machines. I'm working on another cabinet for him. But I'm going to go through the process of how to weather those things for anything you guys might want to do. I mean, if you've ever seen one of these Fox bodies, it's kind of all beat up looking and weathered out and stuff. I think that's cool seeing a modern vehicle. It looks really rough. That's just me. It's one of those things that you can take to a car show. You don't have to worry about anybody opening their doors into you, or it's a conversation piece also. But there's a process in order to get that fake patina, faux patina, and weathering on there. And I'm going to walk through that with you guys and show you all how to do it on those pieces. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll have a couple other things coming up. Again, thank you all so much for the support. It really means the world to me. And remember to stay gloved up.